Can you give an example of a time when you made a mistake and what you learned from it?
The question was, I give an example of a time I made a mistake and what I learned from it? I'm trying to go through in my mind all of the mistakes I made and which one I want to give you. I'll give you one that's professional instead of personal. In my administration, I've employed a lot of people over the course of the last 6 years, and in the 7 years before that as U.S. Attorney. And I've worked with great people. In the main, great people. But a couple of years ago, I had some people in my employ who appear to have done something really awful concerning the George Washington Bridge. Right? And I trusted those people to give them jobs, and they let me down. And what I learned from it is that you can't be too trusting in this business. That you have to ask more questions rather than less, and that you can't be nearly as trusting as I was. And especially when you have the kind of responsibility that I have. And so, what I've learned, when I learned about it, I fired them immediately. I went out and I took accountability for everything that happened, and cooperated with all the different investigations that happened that all concluded saying that I didn't know anything about it and hadn't done anything wrong. But nonetheless, it happened on my watch. And so you learn. You learn when you manage and you're responsible and accountable, where you're not just sitting on the floor of the United States Senate and voting yes or no, and if you don't like the vote, you can change it. And then another vote will come up some other time, and it's of no consequence. When you're in charge of something, you're accountable. And so I've become less trusting and more questioning about everybody, even people who are immediately and closest around me. And I think that'll serve me really well when I'm President of the United States too. So that's one example of recent vintage. I could talk to you about my college years, but then we would have time for no other questions in the town hall meeting. Let me go over here.